Today we are doing something different. Today we'll take idea, so something that Luciano is doing because he has to. So he's revamping his own blog, and he's doing this with something called Astro, that is a framework for static website generation plus some dynamic website generation, a little bit of both of them. And on top of that, we want to use fancy AI to create subtitles, tags, and to make our life easier. Right, Luciano?
That's a pretty good description. Thank you, Roberto.
So let's jump on your laptop.
Yes, so
let's not physically. Let's switch to your laptop, because if you jump on that, then we need to do a crowdfunding to buy a new one.
Exactly. So you should be seeing my screen now. So this is actually the Astro homepage. I think if you have done any front end in the last couple of years, chances are that you have been bumping into Astro already, because it's becoming pretty famous. Probably just after Next.js, then Astro, I would say, is probably the second one. So yeah, what I'm doing, my current website is currently built with Gatsby, and because there are many versions of Gatsby and they always break in changes, I haven't updated it in like 3 years, and I'm not very happy with Gatsby for a few different reasons that I'm not really going to go into. So I decided to just try to rewrite everything. And since I have lots of blog posts, of course, I want to import the existing blog posts. I don't want to rewrite everything. And there will be some lightweight changes, but because both Astro and Gatsby support Markdown, it was pretty easy to do most of the switch. So I am currently working on re-importing everything and redesigning the different pages. I've done some progress. If you have seen some of my tweets, this is the home page. I also did a little bit of the blog section, so you can go here and see the blog index. You can go through pages, see all the articles. So as you can see, I have 7 pages of articles, probably about 50, 60 articles. Then there is tags pages where you can explore, I don't know, articles by tags, for instance, Node.js. For every article, you have, of course, the page with all the content. And then I still have to finish a bunch of other pages, like speaking about and so on. So what I wanted to do is basically generate some additional metadata, as Roberto said. For instance, here there is the opportunity to add a subtitle, also all the meta tags that you add to the header part of the blog, where you say, for instance, I don't know, title, description, and so on. I can input them manually in the front matter of the file, which I will show you in a second. And then you have the opportunity to either do it manually, or what we want to do it today is to do it using some AI. So if all of that makes sense, we can continue. Otherwise, feel free to ask questions in the chat. But meanwhile, I want to show you what a blog posts look like. So here I have the structure of the project. So source, content, posts is where I have all my markdown. Every article is a folder. Let's take, for instance, this one. There is an index markdown, and then all the resources that I used in that article. Like if I use images, GIFs, they will be in the same folder. Now, this markdown, there is a front matter piece with title, slug, subtitle, date, and so on. For instance, the subtitle, I didn't put it. But if I wanted to put this one, actually, let's do that. Let's go back to the browser.
Yeah, our plan is basically to populate that with Bedrock, right?
Exactly. You can see that, you can see here a subtitle, right? So what we could do is, I can also have another thing that I can have is the description, I think, which is going to be used in the SEO part of the blog post. Is it called description? Let me see.
Doesn't seem so. It's complaining a little bit.
I can show you another thing. So the cool thing about Astro, which I really like, is that it allows you to do type checking on the format. So there is a description here. Somehow we didn't like it.
Okay, but in the Markdown description, no, is spelled correctly, it seems.
I don't know why it doesn't like it. Oh, it's Grammarly that doesn't like it for some reason. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Because I also have a Grammarly plugin, which I'm just going to turn off for now. Okay. So what we want to do is to basically go through every single post, take the content, feed it to an AI model, and tell it, can you generate a subtitle that can be something about, I don't know, 1 paragraph, 15 words, and a longer description, maybe, I don't know, 100 words. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What language are we using to write this script?
Because Astro is pretty much TypeScript, I have created here a scripts folder with a little bit of boilerplate code, and there is a script in TypeScript that uses the AWS SDK to call the Bedrock, is the AI service that we're going to be using today. And yeah, we can use that as a starting point.
So basically, to recap, the project is to write in TypeScript a script that is going through all the files in that folder, taking all the index markdown files, making a prompt through the API to this AWS Bedrock service, telling him, please give me a subtitle of at most 15 words for this, give me a description for this, take the result, write it back to the markdown itself somewhere else. We create a second copy of the file just to be sure.
We have Git, so we can override.
Okay, we can overwrite.
And if we break something, we can just revert the changes.
Okay, cool. We do that. And then we see what comes out of it and how much are you spending for all of this.
Yes, how much am I spending is going to be interesting to try to figure out. We could set up metrics in AWS, which is not something that I'm sure we will have the time for, but yeah, we can look at the pricing as well. The idea, actually, let's have a quick look at this service called AWS Bedrock. Let me see if there is a marketing page, introduction. No, wait, this is the AWS Bedrock. There you go, Amazon Bedrock.
Ask it to ChatGPT what is AWS Bedrock. Let's see if it has a bias.
Probably is going to say, oh no, this is too recent. I don't know about it.
Basically, use me.
Is an API that wraps a bunch of other AI services. So the idea is that AWS gives you everything as a service. What they did, they also wrapped a bunch of models, and you can use them when you need them. Just do an API call, and you pay per number of API calls and the amount of data that you send and receive back. So they support different models. They support different types of use cases. For instance, text generation, image generation, and yeah, it's you can see here there is Cloud, which is the one we're going to be using today, Llama, Stable Diffusion, Titan, which I think is actually a custom one from AWS, and yeah, other ones. Honestly, I am not an expert, so I know very little about all the details, like what are the difference between all of them. So if anyone is curious, I just recommend to go and check this page to try to find out more. What we're going to do is just start from a template that I have, and then we'll try to use that as a starting point.
So this is the boilerplate of the script we are going to write.
Okay, so what we do, let me close the work chat.
Yeah, before company secrets are
disclosed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I already installed the AWS SDK, this particular library that allows me to call Bedrock. I have an AWS account. I have already configured my credentials, so I am able to use all of this, and it's going to interact with my account. Then we need to specify which model, and I use this one just because I already seen some examples, so it was easier, but I'm not really sure it's necessarily the best one for the task. Then you need to specify the region. Actually, Bedrock is not available in most regions. It's available only in a few regions. So this one is one of the ones supported. We are going to use that one.
EU West 1 is not supported, Dublin? No.
I don't think so. At least I tried before, and it doesn't seem to be supported.
Okay, we will go in North Virginia, like always.
Then we create a client. We need to specify the region. Otherwise, it's going to default to my default region, which is Ireland, and it's not supported. So here we need to be explicit. Then we need to create a prompt. And this is going to look a little bit weird, but what I've seen in the examples is that there is a specific format. Actually, I'm going to type it slightly different so you can actually see what they expect. They basically expect you to write your prompt starting with human semicolon. Then here you can write whatever you want. So here we're probably going to be writing following here you have the markdown of a blog post, and then I'd like you to generate, I don't know, whatever information, and then you put all the content, and then at the end you have to put an empty space and assistant. This is basically telling it this is where you take over. You tell the AI this is kind of a template, and when you find assistant is where you have to continue populating the remaining text.
Yeah, long story short, all of these models are just a predictor of what is the next word, basically.
Exactly.
So based on the weights that they give to the word that you provide them, not even the word, the token that you provide them, because a word can be made of multiple tokens, at least one, but multiples. They predict the next word to give out. Often they produce something that makes sense. But when when people talks about ChatGPT hallucinating, is exactly this. It takes a direction and it starts to give you something that don't make sense. The problem is that in reality, all these models don't understand what they are doing. They don't have a conception of understanding. They are just, yes, I don't want to say statistical model, but because there is a neural network behind it. But again, they are trained to give you an answer that makes sense. And it's very hard to make them change idea. There are a lot of good examples on how even ChatGPT 4 is not able to change idea on something.
Okay, so yeah, I think this way of creating the prompt makes what you just said a little bit more explicit. I think when you use ChatGPT, they abstract all of that stuff a little bit more in the API.
Yes.
Here you need to follow this template, and it's a little bit more apparent that you're basically starting some text, and then you tell the AI model, please finish this text. Okay,
and
then
if you do something here like multi-prompt, so if you do a first prompt telling, okay, this is the article, I want the subtitle, then you want to ask a second question, okay, given the previous article, give me the description. Even ChatGPT is sending back all the previous discussion, and the next prompt is all the historical discussion that ChatGPT or this model, they don't have a state, they don't keep that, they just take everything again and they go on with this prediction from the point they arrived to.
And as far as I know, or at least something I noticed, I don't know for certain, but if you start to put lots of text, at some point there is like a sliding window. At some point it loses context from the initial text.
Yeah, that is based on how it's trained, because when you train them, you keep a number of token in the training queue, and when this goes too long, they roll out. So the same way you do questions, those are the number of vectors that it can handle. So is forgetting the start of the conversation, basically.
Exactly. And I think it's just like an API layer where it looks like a chat, but it's basically every time you are sending again everything up to a certain point.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have like a local state. It's basically just say, I have a model with my knowledge, and then there is one shot question, and the UI and the APIs are making it look like there is a context by just sending again over and over that context?
There is a good example for ChatGPT. I don't know if Bedrock does the same, but ChatGPT, people ask it, what is money? And ChatGPT answered, money is the oil that makes the world go on and moves the cog and everything else. Then they took the answer and they changed what ChatGPT answered with money is like a kangaroo. And then they asked it to ChatGPT, but why money is like a kangaroo? And ChatGPT said, oh yeah, money is like a kangaroo. I told you so. Because they jump around, they have poke. Yeah, so it
We
went
can
in
actually try
hallucination.
this. What is money? I like this
It
as an
went in
example.
hallucination, basically. You can
Mhm.
say, okay, the assistant answered me, money is like a kangaroo. And then you do human dot, human colon, but why is like a kangaroo, and then assistant colon, and then we see what comes out of that.
Okay, let's do this one first. Then there is a bunch of configuration which I didn't play around with it too much. This is just one of the examples I've seen. But basically you can change, I think, the amount of randomness and other stuff. We can look at the docs later if we want to try to fine tune something if we don't like the output. And then finally, you can create a command. This is very typical with the new AWS SDK, where everything is a command. You use this kind of builder pattern. And then once you have an instance of a command, you can send it. And you are basically making an API call against AWS. And eventually you get a response. Do we want to run this?
To see what is money?
To see what it thinks it is money. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I was already playing with it here. So if we run it again, as you can see, it takes some time because yeah, it's sending all this data, it's probably generating in a server somewhere. And let's see what happens.
Is it serverless in your opinion, or is just a huge machine somewhere?
Maybe the API layer is serverless, but I think the models are probably somewhere in a huge machine. Okay, money is a medium of exchange that people use to obtain goods and services. It serves several key functions in the economy. Medium of exchange, money acts as an intermediary that can be exchanged for goods and services, blah, 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 blah. So there is a pretty long description. Do you want to try to say it's a kangaroo?
Let's go back in the prompt and change it and add a first exchange, and then we see what it comes out of it. I'm curious.
Do you want to copy all of this?
You can copy all of this and change something just to make him hallucinate. So after
Okay.
assistant, no, keep that. After assistant, paste what was the assistant answer.
We'll need to
Well, we need
replace
to
all this nation.
Where are them?
Multi-cursor magic.
Yeah, add another dot. They are like a kangaroo.
Oh, look at the auto-completion of Copilot. Here we have an AI inception.
Yeah, just do a dot, stop there, then choose new line. Why they are like a kangaroo? No, what is a kangaroo? Thank you. Why money is money like a kangaroo? And then you do assistant colon.
Oh,
without.
stop Copilot.
Yeah, Copilot is already spoiling the answer. Come on. Now let's see what it answers us.
Okay, this is gonna take a while.
Because it's a lot more tokens. But this is exactly what something like ChatGPT is doing under the hood.
Oh, it was fast actually. So maybe it is serverless. I apologize. I should not have made the claim that money is like a kangaroo. That was a nonsensical statement I made at the end of my previous explanation of what money is. Kangaroos are marsupial mammals native to Australia, while money is an economic concept used as a medium of exchange. They are completely related things. It was pretty good, actually.
Okay, so Bedrock is admitting, not Bedrock, the model Claude is admitting his fault more than what they say ChatGPT is doing. But as you see, it has no state. So he believed that he said money is like a kangaroo. So he has no memory of what he did. He's trusting we give him.
Okay, so let's start to put some logic to do what we want to do.
Sorry,
So
this
load.
was just a small exercise.
I think as a starting point, what we can do is just load a specific markdown file and just test with that one. And then when we are happy with the result, we can just do a loop and iterate over every single one of them. So let's start by importing read file. And basically what we want to do, why was deleted? Let's say const file content equal await read file of, let's see, source posts
Content. No, source
no,
content.
source content.
Okay.
If I can spell posts, and let's take what is money. Look at that. I wish I wish I brought that post. Let me autocomplete and then we can copy
real name.
Let's copy.
I mean, Copilot is nice, but is a little bit.
Let's copy one about Rust. Let's see.
Copilot is a little bit too enthusiastic about stuff.
This one, building an x86 Rust container. So rename. So this one, and then it's called index.md. Okay, that's the file content. Now what we want to do is basically saying I am going to provide you with the markdown of a blog post, and I want you to give me two things. One, subtitle of maximum 100 characters.
Characters. I would 100 characters, 15 words. I don't know.
To summary of maximum 500 characters. Here is the markdown file content, and then
we leave the empty assistant row.
I think that should do it.
Let's see what comes out of it. Then we can address the model input parameters, temperature, and those kind of stuff. Also because it's token to sample 5,000, but that depends also on the length of your articles, to be honest.
Yeah, this one is quite long. Why using not just modules is forbidden? That's interesting. I'm using a new linter called Biome, which is actually pretty good. It's written in Rust. I'll give you a link.
But it doesn't like Node core module.
But I think, I need to probably specify explicitly that I want to use Node.js stuff somewhere. Okay, Thomas is saying...
going to run, or it's going to crash if you try to run
it? No, I think it's just giving me a linting error. It can run. It's just a warning. Okay, Thomas is saying, I suggest you to say that on the top of the file, you can find the metadata. We can try. Let's try this way, and then we'll try to do both. Okay. Let's see how long it takes. Of course. What did I do? Oh, right. I should have used relative paths. I'm running it from the top folder compared to the script.
Okay.
Okay, now it's definitely doing something. Okay, here is 100 character subtitle and 500 character summary. Cross-compiling Rust for blah, blah, blah.
This article walks through the journey of building a small x86 Docker container for Rust web app from Mac Silicon machine. It explores multi-stage Docker build, Linux Alpine,
It's pretty
libc,
good.
QEMU, Rust TLS, and gemalloc to produce a statically linked Rust binary that runs in a 100 megabyte container image, 8 pair smaller than the initial 900 megabyte attempt. The post shares the step-by-step changes to the Docker file and Rust code required to make this work. While not claiming this is the optimal solution, it provides a working approach to build a small x86 container for Rust apps from the non-x86 hosts.
I'm quite
Well,
happy with this one.
yeah, it's a little bit long. I don't know. Where is going Astro to put? Where is your template, not Astro, going to put the description? In the description meta tag in the head of the HTML?
Wait, what is the subtitle? Because here is not clear what is the. Let me copy all of this very quickly. Blah blah blah.
I think the first. I think there is a line, then double.
Let's do const just for now. Output. And what we want to do is find all the /n.
Replace them with two carriage return, not one, because they were two.
Okay, so this is the subtitle.
Yes, and the other one is the description, the summary. Yeah. Is it too long? What is the suggestion for like Facebook descriptions? I think they have some guidelines for the length of those paragraphs.
Good question. I actually don't know. Let's see. Optimal length of SEO OG description. I'm searching online in another tab. And it's saying about 100 and the maximum SEO meta description length can be up to 300 characters.
So we can
we
change
need to
the
change
prompt.
that.
Yeah.
Of maximum 300 characters. Okay, so also we have a comment from Tommaso saying something like, it is bad where it's a not optimal solution. It is a non-positive sentence. Fair enough. I don't know if there might be ways to tweak the tone.
You can add to the prompt, don't use negative sentences or non-positive sentences.
Okay. I think we can also instruct it to give us the output in a specific way. For instance, we can probably generate JSON.
But we are going to write inside a markdown. Well, yes.
Okay, let's review this prompt. I'm going to provide you with the markdown of a blog post, and I want to give you two things: a subtitle of maximum 100 characters, a summary of of a maximum 300 characters.
Don't use non-positive sentences.
Don't use
positive or negative or non-positive sentences. Let's see what it comes out with compared to this one. And what was the other one?
Oh, we can even give it an example. I like this. For example, don't say this is not a good blog post. Instead, say this is a bad blog post.
Yeah, it was saying not optimal solution. You can say, don't say this is not other.
An optimal Instead, say, what was the suggestion?
Tommaso suggested nothing, but can
What could be?
Just say nothing, I mean.
Okay. Generate the output following this format.
Try just to say generate the output as a JSON. Let's see what comes out of that. We can give more hints.
JSON with 2 fields, subtitle and summary. For example, this. Okay. Let's see what it looks like. Also, what I want to do is
print the output.
So the output is a JSON. So what we can do is JSON.parse all of this. At least we should see things a little bit better.
You can also extract the completion
Oh yeah, you're right.
key.
I think at this point we should see also the new lines correctly.
Yeah. Now it's outputting a JSON in theory. So something that is bothering me is that it's not telling you in the output JSON the number of tokens that were processed in both directions, because AWS is billing you by 1,000 tokens. So if in the single JSON call was telling us, look, these were 2,000 tokens plus 3,000 tokens, that would be nice, because yes, we could
this
have
is
an
pretty
idea
good,
of how much we are going to spend. Yeah, this is Markdown with a JSON inside.
because it's giving us an answer. It is the generated JSON, right? But then it is JSON.
Yeah.
And it's saying blah, blah, blah. This article works through the process of building a small blah, blah, blah. This is pretty good.
Yeah, it's shorter, but like we said, it should be shorter, because otherwise Facebook is not happy. Nobody's happy, but well, Facebook laid the standard for the other.
You think this one is how many words?
We said 300 characters. No idea. Paste that in the editor and make the editor count for you.
226.
Is less than 300. You can say more than 250 and less than 300. I don't know if you want to be.
No, I think annoying. This is good enough.
You could be annoying. I want more than 288 characters, but less than 300.
Okay, actually, Tommaso has a very good suggestion. He's saying we can try to ask more explicitly that this summary is going to be used for SEO optimization. So maybe it's going to do something different. So let's try that.
Let's try to change the prompt again.
A summary of a maximum 300 characters, which will be used for SEO optimization, populating the OG description meta tag. Okay. Subtitle is just something I'm going to be displaying on the page, so that's probably fine. Okay, let's try again.
Yeah, let's see what is
changes anything.
Oh, well, every output is different because of the temperature. That is a randomness added to the generation. I never remember in which direction the temperature goes. If one is don't generate randoms, or if it is the other way around. Learn how to cross-compile Rust binaries for XML containers when developing on a Mac Silicon using multi-stage build, MULSL, RustLS, and other tricks. This is more clickbaity, if you ask me.
It is.
So probably this is better.
If we try again, I'm just curious how much variety there is. Meanwhile, I'm probably burning all my AWS credit. There is a good variety. Yeah, but it's still saying Muse, RustLS, and other tricks.
It likes to talk about tricks. Yes.
Okay, so are we happy with this? Do we want to try to structure this a little bit better?
No, I think I'm quite satisfied with that. What should we do? Try to loop through all, or try to write this back to the same file at the moment? Then we loop.
Actually, let's try to extract the information, because it's always consistent, right? That we can search for this line and this line, and everything in between we just do a JSON parse,
Yes.
right? So what we can do is, let's just store this to output. And then what we want to do is, let's call it JSON fragment. It's output what we want to find is split by this. Take the first one and split by that. Perfect. Thank you, Copilot.
So split by JSON and take the second one, and then split by triple quote again and take the first one.
So what we are doing, we split here. We split
And we
here
take the
and we take
second.
all of this, which is one, right?
Yeah, it's one, but it's the second. You say the first. It's not the first.
Oh
It's
yeah,
the
sorry. I
second.
wanted to say index one, the
Yeah,
second one, and then we split
Off by one
again,
error is fine. Off by
and
one
we
error.
take this one. Now we can JSON parse all of that. So if we just say JSON.parse, I love how when you write JavaScript, there is no error checking. This in Rust would have been .unwrap.
Yeah.
I guess the
13
side effect is that
different,
if there is an issue here, good luck figuring out where it did blow up, but that's another problem. Okay, now we can just console log the JSON fragment, and we should have the two fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try. Oh, so Tommaso was asking, what if you insert also a phrase like, I am Loige and I have a blog about X? You probably mean after, when we say assistant, right? I don't know if you can do that. That's interesting. Anyway, this is pretty good because we can easily inject these in the markdown now.
Okay. The head of that markdown is a YAML, basically.
Yes. So we can actually use a YAML package for that.
Do you have any package to handle that kind of markdown files?
Yeah, there is one actually called YAML that we can easily install. I've done it before. Okay, just wanted to do a quick fix. Let's not call it summary, but description, because this is exactly the name that I will need in the front.
Do you want to change also line 13 or in line 13? Do you want to change what you ask to the prompt?
Line 13.
Because there you're saying a summary. Do you want to ask for a description, or do you?
But we said that it will be used for the
Okay.
OG description.
So, do you think it's smart enough to map summary to description?
The description is kind of a summary. I don't know. How would you rephrase it?
No. Let's see. I was just worried
Let's
that was
try
not
a
able.
description of that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And I think what Tommaso was saying is here to add something, but I don't know if that will work. What if we say blah? And also I want to print all the response. So let's print console log output as well.
In theory, it should go on from where you left it, but with blah, I don't know what it will.
Yeah, I don't know if it explodes or it continues.
I
So
think
it assumes that it needs to continue from there.
I think it assumes it has to go on.
Oh no, it's just saying human. Here is my attempt at generating the subtitle and description.
So now it's playing like the Okay.
So I did ignore my blah.
Yeah, he said, okay, the assistant answered blah. Then the next phrase is the human speaking. So human colon and the text.
Which feels a little bit dangerous. So let's not do it.
Again, it's just a model that is finishing a phrase on steroids.
Okay, so let's just do for now a function to wrap all of this work. Let's just do async function generate metadata.
He's taking a file name or the content directly? He's taking a file name.
What can we do?
We pass the file content or we pass the file name, and then the function is reading the content.
We do everything. Yeah, let's do everything. Let's do file name as a string. And it does everything, even updating the file. Yeah.
If it has the right access, why not?
Okay, so the first thing we do is reads file name. Then it creates the prompt. Then creates the model input, invokes the model, and parses the response. Okay, for now, let's just copy all of this. I don't know why it's not formatting anymore.
Your linter should indent it.
It should, but it's not.
I think you can remove the console logs at this point.
We can remove the console log. Okay, so what we want to do is
write back the data.
So we need to split the front matter. Is equal to
file content.
Did we call it content or file content?
File content, I think is called.
Split, but also there needs to be a new line. Otherwise,
and
it might split randomly.
Can you limit the split to only one?
Two. There are two. There is one at the very beginning. So it's something like this: dash 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 stuff dot stuff, and then here you have markdown.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what we want. We want the
from matter and the article itself.
Then we have the article itself. So can we do this? I wonder. Front matter, article, content, and we don't need to take that. So this is keeping the first one, front matter, and article content.
Okay.
Now we need to parse with YAML. So let's install YAML, pnpm add YAML. Okay, so YAML.
Sorry, just for people that doesn't use TypeScript every day, difference between npm and pnpm?
Actually, you can use PNPM even without TypeScript. It's not bound to TypeScript. This is just another, I guess,
NPM
package manager, which it was born to be parallel NPM. That's why it's called PNPM. So it's, in theory, it's a little bit faster, but now has a lot of additional features that NPM is kind of competing, let's say. Like NPM then added some of these features. For instance, it was adding workspaces, but generally I'm using it because it's a little bit faster to install dependencies, which is good in a CI/CD environment. Okay, so what did we want to do? Oh yeah, we need to import the YAML. So
we need to parse, import the YAML to parse the YAML
from YAML. And then I think there is serialize. Why is not autocomplete? Oh wow. Not what I remember.
There is a parser.
Oh, stringify. Parse and stringify. Okay, these are the two we want. Why did this appear?
Because you were not using it.
Parse, stringify from YAML. And now what we want to do is const parsed front matter.
Yes.
And then we do if not parsed subtitle, add the subtitle. Similarly with description, add the description, and then
we have to save back the file.
New front matter, stringify that. And now let's do new file content.
Yes.
Looks good, yes. And now we need to write. So we need to import write file. And what we need to do is await. And then
this function should work. Do you want to try to call it with the file from before?
Actually, let me do one thing. Let changed equal false. Changed true.
You write back if the file changed.
And we also do a console log that. I don't like the fact that it's not formatting anymore.
Yeah. Your linter is lazy.
Yeah, I'm probably doing something wrong with the config. Okay, then what else can we do?
I mean, you can call it once with a file just to check if everything works.
Actually, you know what? Another thing I want to do is even before calling it, let's do all this parsing up front.
You mean if I already have a title and a description, I
just
don't
skip
call
exactly
Bedrock. Okay.
So let me do all of this here.
After you do the file content in line 14.
Content, and we can say if parsed front matter, we do retard. Maybe we can do console log skipping file name. Okay, at this point, what we need to do is, just as an example, we can do one. And then if it works, we can iterate over.
Yeah, we call it twice to see that the first time is changed and the second time is skipped.
So let's do.
I think that changed check that you are doing at the end now is not needed anymore. Because you are checking at the top.
Right. Yes. Good point. And that simplifies a little
Just to
bit.
simplify, just for that.
Oh, that's the problem. Is it formatting now? Okay, now it's formatting. Somehow it wasn't configured for this file. Okay, so what do we do next? We said we want to do await, generate. Is that the correct thing? Is not, because it is
No.
source, content, posts. Why I started writing, I definitely didn't write that one. So let me copy. Which
It's
one do
nice,
you
like
use?
Copilot tries to do stuff. Yeah.
Okay, let's use this one with Fastify. Is there copy file path somewhere? Copy path.
Copy path.
Copy
There.
relative path. Perfect. And if we call it twice, we should see the first time is doing stuff, the second time is
It's skipping.
skipping. So let's try that.
And then we check what it wrote inside the file itself. And then we check your bill.
Okay, did something. So if we go here, it's modified. Oh, we did break something.
Perfect.
First of
Undefined.
all.
Yeah.
But here is doing subtitle, Fastify and React for quick web app prototyping, which is annoying because it's exactly the same as the title. So we should probably extrapolate the title and say that needs to be something different.
You can try to say what Tommaso was saying before, telling the prompt that there is the YAML at the start and tell him to not use the same title already in the file.
Since we splitted already, maybe we can just pass the content.
Ah, okay. Yes, also, so you pay less. So you pay less tokens. But then you also have to say, you have to extract the title and say, don't use these as a subtitle and literal to the prompt.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
You can, this is all under version control, so you can roll back.
Now, why are we having undefined? Let me.
This article show how
that.
to bootstrap a quick web application environment using.
No, that was quite good, I think.
Yes.
But let's revert that. And if we go back here, why do we have article content? Why is it?
Because it's not called like that. It's called new file con. No, what was called?
Article content.
Ah, okay. So why? The two after the split, what is that two?
Oh yeah, does it need to be 2 or 3?
3 at this point, I suppose.
Is it gonna? I'm afraid my parser is gonna delete everything. Let's see. Yeah.
Your linter, not your parser.
My linter, yes. Okay, let's do this super annoying thing.
Why your linter is changing the code? Sorry, I think it should mind its own business.
Oh, now it's gonna delete also this stuff. I have to check if there is. Oh, okay, it doesn't remove this one. It doesn't remove constants. Just flag them, which is good. But yeah, I need to check if there is a config option to disable that because it can be a bit annoying. So if we run this one, what's going on? Okay, article content is undefined. Why? If we just console log this.
Try to put a 3 instead of a 2 there.
I'm just curious to do this. 1 second. It's an array with one empty item. And okay, so that's the number of items. Yeah, you're probably right. So if we do 3, we should see something different. Okay, that was the issue. Good spot.
Remove the console log, otherwise you're logging the article.
Okay, now we have the entire article.
Yeah, we can do what you say, that we can pass only the article content and we can extract the title from uncomment all the
So uncomment all this mess. Oh, I removed all the imports.
again.
That's annoying.
Again.
And it doesn't even autocomplete now. So
You're not selling me this linter. You're not selling me this linter at all.
Okay, thankfully Copilot can help.
Compilot remembers.
What are we missing now? Oh yeah, I removed also this guy.
Yeah, all the US stuff.
Okay, now we're happy. Cool. So here we have 5 article content. Okay, so let's
we
see.
already have the parsed.
I'm going to provide you the markdown. We do with a blog post titled this, and we can say front matter dot title. Is it parsed front matter? Yeah. A subtitle of maximum 1 character, which needs to be different from the title and provide more context. Does that make sense?
Yes. Tommaso was also suggesting tell it to not repeat itself, but subtitle and description can repeat themselves because they go in different places. The subtitle should not repeat the title, but
exactly.
Let's see if this is enough to make it not repeating itself.
Hello, Turbopila. We have Turbopila in the chat. That's a beautiful nickname. Okay, so let's run this one.
So we reverted and saved the file that was. You could add a console log. You could add a console log at the start of the function before calling Bedrock, just to say calling Bedrock 4.
It's still repeating the same title. Look at this.
Exactly. Perfect. We just say, don't use this title. Okay, I will use the title.
Okay, we'll need to be probably more explicit.
Don't use this.
This one is pretty good. So we just need to figure out how to make it.
Yeah, but what is a React front end with HTML? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a library called HTML.
Ah, okay, cool.
So it didn't truncate anything. It's just that's what it was. Okay, so we reverted the changes.
Yeah,
now let me be even more explicit.
Don't say that the blog post is titled whatever. It's not useful. We have to say it should be different from
blog post. I'm going to provide you with markdown of a blog post, and I want you to give me 2 things: a subtitle of maximum 100 characters, which needs to be different from that.
Okay, let's see if this time and a description.
Okay, just for curiosity, am I doing something stupid here? I'm just surprised that it was exactly the same. JSON fragment subtitle, no. Let's just print it, just in case.
Okay.
Wrong indentation of the prompt. What did I do there? Is it wrong? I don't think so.
I don't think the indentation is converted in tokens. Cannot read.
Was there an error? Okay.
Was there an error, or you ran out of you spent 10,000?
Probably I was banned from AWS forever.
Is that a pro or a cons?
Depends.
And the winner is?
Come on. Okay, now it's working. So we might account for random failure.
And the title finally is different?
But just slightly, I think.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's just inverting the word.
It's different. It's perfect. Oh, God. Don't know. The description is good, but the subtitle is not.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing. So let me revert this and this.
The description is honestly good, but the title is...
Which needs to be significantly. And provide more context to it.
What do you want to say? It should have a no, what is the Levenstein distance? The Levenstein distance of the title to the subtitle must be more than this.
The indentation of the subtitle is wrong. But Tommaso, do you mean in the generated markdown or in the prompt? Yeah, the title is still not useful, the subtitle.
Tommaso was suggesting if you have a conclusion block in your blog posts, try to tell the summary, the subtitle should be the summary of the conclusions in less than 100. I mean, I don't know if you have conclusions in all posts.
But could be a better prompt, which should
Turbo Pila, what do you mean by can you try some kind of negative prompt? Sorry, if you are stupid, I don't know what a negative prompt could be.
Okay, maybe you're saying that there is a way to say, oh, I forgot to revert the changes. Well, at least that works, that if we have already touched it, it's not going to change it again. Okay, that's already better. That's more useful.
Yes.
There is still lots of repetition, but at least there is an additional element.
I think you should anyway take a look at what everything is going to write.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I will probably refactor it manually anyway. But this
But at
seems a
least
little bit more promising.
yeah, at least it's a start point. Now, do you want to loop through all your files and destroy and update all of them?
Yes. So I want to do one more thing before we do that. Since this guy failed, this part here.
It failed on the split, yes.
So let's do a try catch here, or output was saying that was not defined. So probably completion was missing.
No, I think it was complaining about the square bracket 1 because the split was not giving back a second element. Well, anyway.
Now, what I'm curious here is I don't know what can be the shape of the error.
Do a try and log everything that come out of output if there is an error.
Exactly.
Anyway, the action is idempotent, so if you run this 10 times, it's only going to run once per every file. Yeah, you console log.
Console
Yeah,
log fail. Failed to process file name, and we say this is the error, and we say output.
I'm a little bit lost with all the.
Sorry. Was whoa, no.
Just output, not completion. Completion
Exactly.
could be missing.
And we don't need this. So now we have a decent error management. Now we also need to do read dir.
What do you have in TypeScript? There is no glob or walk.
There is a library, but I think we can do this pretty easily. Const folders. That's what we need to do. And then what we want to do for const folder in folders. For now, let's just do a console log of this. What? I forgot how to use JavaScript. Okay, this is all the folders. So let me import another library.
He's also taking a dot folder from Mac. So some folder can have missing index. The index markdown can
Was
be
it?
missing. Look at the first of the
Oh,
list.
DS store, yes.
Yeah, thank you, SX.
There is another way. I think we can pass
Just
additional parameter just to say with
you
file
can say,
types.
you can say if a file exists, folder index MD.
I think there is a way to say only folders to keep only the directories.
But yes, a store is a folder or not?
No, it's just a one binary file, I think.
Okay. And what if there is a folder without an index markdown?
I guess we can check the indef loop for that. If the index markdown exists. Okay, let's do that way. It's simple, but it should work. So const file
Name
equal join of
folder
that Did you remove join? Jesus.
You were not fast enough.
Okay, now we can do there is exists, I think.
The fastest linter in the West.
What is it?
File exists.
I'm quite sure that there is exist. Maybe it's not in the promises module. Where are the functions?
Try to search exists. Here is read file.
Oh, there is stat that exists. Okay, so what we can do is and I think if it doesn't exist, file stat might fail. Let's see. Not a directory.
Yeah, ds store /index.md, like you say, this is a binary, is not a directory, the file is not existing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not happy, it's just throwing an exception.
But where is it throwing the exception in the stat?
Probably it's the only place you look at, you use it.
Okay. Or what we can do is try that. And we can do continue. Let's do a console log. Okay, at this point we know it exists. Let's see if it's true. Yes, so now it doesn't fail. Failure to process blah blah blah, not a directory. Cool. So we don't need to print all of this. This is just to skip folder.
Yeah, skip missing files.
Or if it's not a folder. Okay, now at this point, we just need to do await generate metadata of file name, right?
Yes.
Cool. Are we ready for it?
Let's see.
Actually,
It's going to take a while.
Processing folder, I'm not going to repeat this one. Also, I'm doing this one in a consecutive fashion. I could probably batch it and do a few of them together, but for now, it's fine.
You mean parallelize it?
Yeah, make it
Yeah,
concurrent.
but you're still calling an AWS service, so watch out when you do that.
Ooh. Okay, the first one failed. The second one failed. Output from model object. It's not liking something.
No, but like I said, when you call AWS services, if you parallelize, be aware that sometimes AWS itself can not let you parallelize.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, meanwhile, I'm gonna fix here while this is happening. Where is that try catch?
It's not smart enough.
Is it output null 2, I think? Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's just
some of
giving me
them are
object. Some are working.
and then it will skip them.
So we can retry later, but I'm just curious why it didn't work. It's probably some rate limiting stuff.
Oh, yeah, could be. So if it's rate limiting, doing that in parallel is not going to be smart because you're just getting rate limited more for no reason.
Mm-hmm. So it is doing some stuff.
5 key lessons for entrepreneurs from 3 intense months at the back of Ireland Accelerator. So this was
Is a
written
very
in,
old blog post.
oh yeah,
2014. Yeah.
2014. God, you were so young.
And full of hope.
Yeah.
I think we should probably start to wrap up because it's been almost 1 hour and a half.
Yeah, okay. While this beautiful stuff is running, let's wrap up. So
we will basically share the errors somewhere. We will probably, I have a repository, so we will provide, when we upload everything on YouTube, we will provide the description there with all the details on where to find the code.
And talking about YouTube, you can find the recording on YouTube. The link is on Twitch in the About section. If you're watching this on YouTube, we do live streaming on Twitch every Monday, 6 p.m. Dublin time. Make sure to check the Twitch link in the YouTube description and give us a follow so that you can be notified. Feel free to leave us comment and teach us how to use AI. Everything is well accepted. We are trying to learn everything, not just Rust, like you saw. Don't expect our solution to be the best ones, but they work often. Thank you for all the collaboration in chat.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Bye, and see you next time.
Everyone.